Now that we have looked at an example of drawing the tally marks and doing the corresponding counting, let's just see how we can systematically draw a bar graph given certain data. So here we have the expenses that a particular household does on various categories. So house rent, for example, is they expend 3000 rupees per month on house rent. For food, this particular household spends 3400 rupees, so on and so forth. And finally, we have some miscellaneous expenses as well. I want to plot these expenses in the form of a bar graph. The first thing to notice is that our expenses are categorized. So they are categorical variables. The second thing that we do when we are drawing the bar graph is to draw our y-axis, correctly draw our y-axis with the various markings. So here we have the various markings on the y-axis, and these have to be very correctly done, very correctly chosen, and rest of the process would become very simple. So to do these markings, first thing we do is that we look at the expenditure. I want all of these expenditures to appear in the marking here as far as possible. So to enable me to do that, what do? I take the SCF of all of these expenditures. So my expenditure here, right, one of the common factors that we can easily see across all of these expenditure is 100. They are all divisible by 100%, right? Because all of them have two zeros. So they are definitely divisible by 100. But as soon as I divide these values by 100, I quickly realize that the remainder, whatever I'm left with, the quotient, is also divisible by 2 in each of these cases. So SCF for all of these values comes out to be 200, right? So you can find out the SCF by using this trial and error method, but it is very important to start with the SCF. Now that we know the SCF of these various values, I choose that SCF as the difference between my marks on the y-axis. So on the y-axis, this is known as scale of the y-axis. Each mark on the y-axis has a difference of 200. And this 200, where did I get it from? I got it from the SCF of my values. So that is my scale of the y-axis. It is known as the scale. Each centimeter, right, or each unit length of the y-axis represents an expenditure of 200 rupees. This is what this scale actually means. So this is my scale of y-axis, and it is very important to choose this scale correctly. Once you have the scale, the rest becomes simple. What do? I create these markings 200 rupees apart. So each of these marking becomes 200 rupees apart, and I slowly increment the values. I take the highest value to be my highest expenditure here. So I only need to go till 3400, but of course we go one higher, okay, just for the sake of it. Okay, then with the y-axis created, now I move on to my x-axis. So that's the second thing I do. On x-axis, things are very simple, because here I simply need to put down all the categories. So I start with the first one and I go on to list all the categories. Of course, I also create mark in the center. It is on either side of this mark I will draw my bar diagram. Okay, so I create a mark in the center so that my diagram looks neat, and on either side of this mark I'll create my bar graph. Next we start with the first bar. How long my first bar needs to be? It needs to, the house rent, this bar for house rent goes till 3000. So I'll take the house rent bar and I'll extend it up to 3000. So this is how I arrive at the first bar. The second bar of food goes till 3400. So this is my second bar. It arrives right here. And notice that how my bar is centered around the line that I drew in the beginning. The third bar for 800 would come. This 800 I can read from the y-axis, right? Very simple. If you don't have a chart paper or graph paper, use graph paper preferably, because these lines you will get automatically. But in case you don't have that, use the lines in your answer book itself. So your answer book itself might have single lines. So use that If you don't have that either, you are using plain copy, then draw these lines by scale. In that way, your bar graph would come out to be very, very neat. Okay, and keep these bars typically 1 centimeter apart. And similarly, this bar, the width of the bar, also keep it to be 1 centimeter. Okay, that would make things look good. This difference between the bar, you can take it as per your convenience, but these bars, there has to be a difference. You cannot join these two bars. Remember, if you join, then it becomes histogram, which we cannot draw in this case because our variable, underlying variable, is actually categorized. Okay, so this is a category of expenses. It is not continuous. So our bars have to be disjoint. They have to be difference. This difference you can keep according to your convenience, depending on how many bars you need to fit. So we have gone till education. We have drawn the bar of 800, length 800. This we have already drawn. Next we draw the bar for electricity, which is 400. Then we draw the bar for transport, which is 600. Then finally we draw the bar for miscellaneous, which is 1200. So all of those bars have been drawn, and this completes my bar graph. One of the things which is missing from this bar graph, which you should put, is the scale. Scale means we'll put here 1 centimeter is equal to 200 rupees. Okay, and that scale is actually necessary. That is the scale of our y-axis, and you should always put that. Again, all the other information we have captured, it is the bar graph of expenses, and each of these bar represents a expense category. So all of that information is something that we have already put in. Another thing which sometimes people would do is that they would organize these bars in descending or ascending order, but that is not necessary. In exam you don't have to do that, but if you are drawing something for presentation, if you are drawing it to show to your teacher, then do it. It will look good on your in your presentation.